to see them to.
Yeah, the voting part will be easy because the name, because I need to verbally hear it, but that's fine. If someone has something to say, just to sort of unmute and say their name. Thank you. And then I guess if anyone sees someone raise a hand, let me know. It will be easy because the name, because I need to verbally hear it, but okay. So I'm going to quickly go through attendance and voting and get that. I have Heather Jones voting. Todd Graham.
Present, non-voting.
Okay, thank you. Teresa King Leclerc.
Present, non-voting.
Susan McCready.
Present, voting.
And Kate Chaplin.
Present, voting.
Dwayne Bolt.
Present, voting.
Robin Sue Tapley.
Robin Sue is in the waiting room on her phone, so her name's not showing up. So she's trying to get in, but she's like an anonymous person right now.
That's the
I think I
person.
just let her in.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Robin Sue, Josh.
Yeah, she's connecting now.
All right, I'll come back to her.
He is voting.
Thank you, Christy. Marie Yarborough.
Here, but not voting.
Okay. Lily Simas.
Here, voting.
And Christy LaSquadro.
Here, voting.
Thank you, guys. John Bench.
Here, voting.
Susan Allen.
Here, not voting.
Okay. John Eisenhower.
Here, not voting.
Ingrid Kashmar.
Here, voting.
Jim Sawyer.
Maybe I am voting then.
Okay, I'll make note of that on here and we can go through and deal with that. Heidi Lawson.
Here, voting.
Jessica Stewart.
Here, voting, I think.
I have you on the list as voting. Jessica Bass. Carrie Hayes.
Present, voting.
And
one suggestion I wanted to make, Heather, if people want to get your attention, can you see the chat?
possibly, we'll see. I'm sure it will show up as something on my phone.
It'll show up on your phone. You'll get a notification. You'll get a little thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And we don't have chat enabled on these meetings, Heather.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So no, but thank you. Thanks, Josh. Roger Sanamon.
Here, not voting.
All right, thank you. Jennifer Bonilla.
Here, not sure because I can't get onto Google Docs. So if someone wrote me down as voting, I'll vote. And if someone else wrote down that they're voting, they can vote.
I only have Aaron at the moment, so I'll go through the rest.
Okay.
Gary Burr.
Here, and I wrote voting.
Okay. Oh, I printed this earlier. Okay. Tom Reeve.
Here, voting.
And Darcy Throckmorton.
Not getting audio. I got the.
Here, not voting, right?
All right. Thank you, Darcy. Yep.
Thank you.
Tammy Tripler. Not at the moment. And then Amy Palmer, Carrie Alley, Darlene Sumner, Christina Shuey, Rachel Bishop, Mabel Lunt, and then I'll finish Swans Island, Lindsay Staples, Emmy Sawyer, Marissa Rosensky, and Richard Davis. All right, thank you, everybody. Approval of the voucher, you should have seen that go around by DocuSign. Mark, do we have any public comments since the last time you and I spoke today?
No, I actually checked late this afternoon with Selena and nothing was received up till this time, Heather.
Okay, thank you. And I want to let everyone know that at one of our meetings, we talked about public comment and trying to do something so that we could, during these virtual times, mirror it as best we can to an in-person, so that a person could make a public comment and have it, feel as genuine and natural as being there in person. Mark and Josh are furiously working on that, and it wasn't ready for this meeting, but they are working on it so that we can have some sort of a system where we can have a public comment and someone can come present something, but then we still have the sort of security of then they sort of leave the meeting from a comment standpoint. So that's coming. I have the approval of the minutes of December 14, 2020. I'll take a motion. And if you make a motion, could you please say your name?
So move Jennifer Vanilla.
Thank you. Second.
Second, Ingrid.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions or changes to the minutes? I'm giving it the appropriate sort of waiting period, not hearing, seeing anything. I'll go through my list of voting. Heather approved. Susan McCready.
Approved.
Kate Chaplin.
Approved.
Dwayne Bolt.
Approved.
Robin Sue Tapley.
Approved.
Lily Simis.
Approve.
Christy LaSquadro.
Approve.
John Bench.
Approve.
Susan Allen.
Approve.
Ingrid Kashmar.
Approve.
Heidi Lawson.
Approve.
Jessica Stewart.
Approve.
Carrie Hayes.
Approve.
Gary Burr.
Approve.
Tom Reeve.
Approve.
And Aaron Brown.
Approve.
Thank you, everyone. Tammy Tripler, I'm assuming hasn't joined yet. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Next, we're going to move into the annual report of the Mount Desert Island Regional School System by the AOS 91 administrators. I want to let everybody know that because this is our annual meeting, we don't have a superintendent's report, but under other business, Mark is going to have a report discussing the status of the schools right now with respect to potentially opening or our situation with COVID. So that is coming up. It'll just be towards the end of our meeting. So Mark, I will turn it over to you for the annual report.
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. On behalf of the administrative team, and I want to give credit where credit is due, all of the building administrators, principals, and administration throughout the AOS. This is a report that's compiled and presented to the board each year. And I'm certainly not going to read it to you, but it is linked to the agenda. It is something that we find very useful during our town meetings and trying to articulate the good work that our teachers, our students, and our staff do year in and year out. The report gives an overview of the things that we've completed over the past year, but it also gives a benchmark towards what we look to complete this year and beyond. And I was reviewing the reports over the last several years and before my tenure, and I'm really pleased and very proud of the good work that's done each and every day in our schools. So with that, there are three goals that we report out on each year. Improving student achievement and engagement in school, improving teaching and learning, and strategic allocation of resources, use of personnel and financial planning. I think for lack of a better term, it's kind of an overview of the state of our schools. And I believe, given the times that we're in, we're all in the midst of a pandemic. And I just would take a second to acknowledge that this has been a very difficult year for everyone, our students, our families, our administrators, our staff. Everybody has been impacted by COVID in some way, shape, or form. And I could not be more proud of how people just keep coming back and working hard to do the right things. And I think that sets the context for the difficult times we're in. We're in difficult times emotionally, socially, and fiscally, and we have to be sensitive to that. Literally overnight, our teachers and administrators and students had to turn on a dime, and our way of life shifted in March. And so this report characterizes some of those pieces in the midst of how we deliver teaching and learning. We continue to focus under Goal 1 on pre-K programming. We believe that pre-K programming is essential to having our students be prepared and successful in meeting teaching and learning goals. Also, we've had a focus, or we're having a focus prior to COVID, but it turns out it's very much aligned in developing our outdoor classrooms and continuing to strengthen our partnerships with organizations such as Camp Beechcliff, Acadia National Park, and a host of others. We also have a continued focus on response to intervention. Essentially, response to intervention is meeting students where they're at and making sure that we can engage them so that they can be successful on a daily basis. Under goal number 1, I'm pleased to report, even during the difficult times of COVID, we've begun our work with the Anti-Racism Task Force. And you'll continue to hear more updates on a regular basis at the AOS level. Can't say enough about the good work of Dr. Meltzer and her team with starting our K-8 virtual academy. She's done an amazing job. And certainly the work of all the people over this summer, our community partners, students, teachers, and staff, in just putting together how we were going to return to our buildings for our Safe Return to School Advisory Committee. And that group and the work of many people continue to determine how we can meet the health and safety needs of our students. So with that, I'd like to turn it to Julie for just an overview of goal number 2. Julie? Is Julie with us?
I'm here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Julie.
Thank you, Mark. I just wanted to make sure I was unmuted. So our second goal is to improve teaching and learning. Obviously, that's an area that I'm very intimately involved with. The past school year, we did complete a redesign of the social studies curriculum standards in scope and sequence, and we did start to implement K4, the use of our Mind Up curriculum and real focus on how people can become more skilled at working with students when they are dysregulated. We've improved the amount of multicultural literature in our classroom libraries. When we pivoted to remote learning in the spring, we were able to move to online learning, including peer-led online learning, which was which took nice advantage of some of the strengths that many of the teachers already brought with technology and leveraged that across more people. During this year, we are continuing to focus in concert with the Anti-Racism Task Force. The district is providing multiple opportunities and resources and support for teachers to learn about anti-racism. We are working, actually launching the work to design a practice, a restorative justice practice more fully in middle and high school. And there is a continuing district-wide focus on social emotional learning and mental health. We are, and this is something that the board has questioned me about in the past, and we're continuing to investigate and attempting to mitigate the negative learning consequences that are associated with COVID this year. And that is a very important focus for this year, whether we want it or not, because we want to make sure that we're supporting the learning and growth of all of our students. Mark, did you want to take goal 3?
Sure. Thanks, Julie. Under goal 3, strategic allocation of resources. And one of the things that I could not be more proud of is our work in sustainability and alternative energy programs. Much of that work has been championed, if not all, by our students, whether that be through recycling, whether that be through sustainability, whether that be through advocacy for, for sustainability and green initiatives, our high school solar program, and programs that we hope to expand throughout the AOS. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that MDI High School this past year was recognized nationally with a Green Ribbon Award from the United States Department of Education for its work in sustainability. We continue, even through COVID, to focus on policy development and review. We recently had consultation with legal counsel on where we stood, and we're in a good place. But that work with policy never ends. So we continue that work, and we hope that anybody that would like to join us in those discussions as we meet monthly does so. This past year prior to COVID, I would just remind our boards and our communities, we have a lot of good data that we worked hard to put together with some entities and specific to our enrollment, and also with salary studies. So in the coming years, as we're working hard to develop our budgets and determine where our schools need to go in terms of resources and facilities, those pieces of information will be very important, and they're available for review. Wellness continues to be something that is very important, and it's something that I believe is a key to us continuing to make sure we can support our employees in a very positive way, both physically and mentally. Honestly, I haven't had the capacity to be able to check in like I would normally do during the year, but that is something that we're still paying attention to. And I think it's safe to say that it's being done at a grassroots level. Very proud of the fact that we were able to bring on board a second school psychologist this past year. And we did so because of partnerships that we had with Acadia
I think we
Family
lost Mark
Center.
for a moment there.
What's that? Oh, we okay?
Yep, there you go.
Sorry. We were able to have the support of that second position because of many grants and donations, and it's made a world of difference, especially during these difficult times. We've also been very cognizant of the times that we're in and revenues and what that means, and so working with Nancy and our communities to make sure that we continue to be good stewards of our resources, and we allocate them strategically. So looking ahead, continued focus on the areas of social, emotional, and behavioral programming. Technology now more than ever in terms of the delivery of remote instruction and support for teaching and learning. Technology continues to be a focus. We have proposed an operations manager, and the goal of that position is to make sure that our building principals can serve as the educational leaders that we know they are, and shift away some of those responsibilities so they can focus on teaching and learning. Undertaking a review of our website and upgrading our website for the district. And certainly our asymptomatic testing program, which has really been a key resource in helping us determine the health and safety of our staff and our schools. So we look forward to continuing those. So that's a broad overview of our annual report, Heather. And That process was completed, again, with all of our administrative team having input. So I'm pleased to take any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you, Mark and Julie, for both your report out, but to the whole team for the report. Thank you. Any questions? And at this point, if you are able to just sort of unmute yourself and say your name, then we'll take your question. Hearing nothing, I'm guessing everybody has read the report and is fine with it. So I'll move on to the next. I need a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 405(6)A, evaluation of the Mount Desert Island Regional School System AOS 91 Central Office personnel.
Kate, so
So-
moved.
Second, this is Jessica.
So I have Kate Chaplin moving it and Jessica Stewart seconding.
Correct.
Heather, this is Heidi. I just want to let you know, I'm going to step away from the executive session because I cannot be by myself. So I'm going to step away from the executive session. Okay, so for confidentiality.
Okay, thanks. Do you want to be a part of that vote, or are you going to have somebody else vote for you?
Well, we can't vote in executive session, so.
Voting to go into executive session.
Oh, I'll vote for that. I'll vote
Okay.
to go. Yeah.
All right, so I'll go through the list again. That's Heather Jones, yes. Susan McCready,
Yes.
Kate Chaplin,
Yes.
Dwayne Bolt,
Yes.
Robin Sue Tapley,
Yes.
Lily Simis,
Yes.
Christy LaSquadro,
Yes.
John Bench,
Yes.
Susan Allen.
Jim's here now, but I'll say
Oh.
yes.
Okay. Ingrid Kashmar,
Yes.
Heidi Lawson,
Yes.
Jessica Stewart,
Yes.
Carrie Hayes,
Yes.
Gary Burr,
Yes.
Tom Reeve,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
and has Tammy Tripler joined us? Okay, so we are